Good morning and welcome. Yes, today is episode 3 review of The World's End Harem. Now later on, we're gonna have my dress up darling Kunga. I know it comes out today, I think, but World's End Harem episode 3. This episode of World's End Harem wasn't about the fan service. It wasn't about just boobs and on the ass. It wasn't that important. This episode got into a direction of like it's more like the bulliness. Here's the thing. I can't stand the bullies in anime. I can't stand them at all. When I watched this episode, guys, the first thing that came to my mind was a show that I've watched before and I did a review on it. Magical Girl Sight. And when I watched Magical Girl Sight and seeing Aya going through so much bullying at home and at school, it's the same thing for our number 3 guy, Shouta. And just by looking at him, I'm like, damn, I want to help this guy. I want to help Shouta in the many ways as possible. And being that he's the third man coming out from the scoliosis, having this disease and come back, it's hard to see this guy go through so much. Even when he wakes up. Without further ado, let's get right to it with The World Ends Harem episode 3. So they gave us a flashback of the year started for 2040. You got this guy getting bullied by these 4 punks, 3 dudes and one ugly ass chick. One ugly ass chick. Okay. Now they beat him up, all that stuff, making fun of him because of the idol he loves or whatnot. So the fuck what? And yes, I know it's morning and I feel angry just watching this episode, but damn, this episode pissed me off. They bully him and they put shit on him and it was so freaking wrong what they did to him. And when Shouta, he walking, no one didn't even give 2 shits about him. No one didn't even care about him at all. No one didn't care at all about this guy. Not even his friend, not even his former friend. Because when his friend got picked on, he comes in, dropping off something for his friend, and then they come in and they bully Shouta. And what did his friend do? Ignore him. Step on the book and ignore him. I'm like, this guy saved your life from bullying. And then they come in and bully them. And I'm like, what the fuck is everybody afraid of them? There's 4 people in that group, and the entire class, the entire school got nothing to do with it. They're gonna ignore them. See this thing. This show teaches you about how life bullying is. There is nothing, there's a lot of ways to avoid bullying, but come on, man. To see Shouta like this and having his friend push him, having his friend ignore him as he walked by, having other people just ignore him. I'm like, damn, Sota's living a difficult life, and nobody ain't stopping him. And then the only one that supports him the most is the teacher. Now I'm gonna get to that teacher because that's one hot MILF in this one. Okay, anyway. She is concerned for him more than anything. That's love at first. That's love for Shouta. And everybody else didn't even care. And then when he walks, and then it got worse. When he headed home, he hear bushes shaking like some Pokemon. When you walk into a bush, it shakes. So yeah, he walking home and he saw those 2 goons that were bullying him. They were having sex by the school, on the side of the schoolyard where those trees and bushes are. And then when he saw them, he gets beat up, and then he gets spit on. He gets spits on. And this girl called her a creep or whatnot. So I'm gonna get to her later. But they bully her and saying oh, I heard you're gonna die. Well, at least I had fun bullying you, all that stuff. Oh, I'm like, oh my God. So that, again, this is nightmare for him. And then he wakes, and then as he, found out he has disease, again, no one didn't care about the disease. You know what I mean? That's fucked up. He may not be your friend, but he's one of your classmates. He tells everybody like, oh, he has a disease. He's gonna be in the hospital for a long time. And y'all don't give a shit. Y'all don't care at all. Then now we fast forward 5 years now, the year 2045, during the MK virus attack. He got a partner in Katarina, an energetic blonde hair girl, very energetic by the way, and helping Sota get back to his school life. Have Sota the thing he wanted, go back to school life. But here's the thing about Sota though. Sota is not. He's dealing with problems of his own. Even though it's been 5 years into the past, he's still dealing with things that happened 5 years before. Getting bullied, disowned by his friends, no one didn't like him. He's a virgin, making fun of him because of all those things. And he's still right now he's in a school with all the girls. That's a harem classic. That is a harem classic. A boy go to an all girls school. That right there is a harem anime at its best. But anyway, he goes home. Anyway, he goes to school, and you think that having all girls school is nice, but for him, he's like, it's been 5 years. I wonder how everybody is. I wonder how everybody died. See, he's plotting that revenge story. He's plotting that rising of the shield hero redo of healer vibe going on. He wants to get revenge on him. And I don't blame him now one bit. I don't blame him. I don't care if I wake up, I don't care if I wake up 5 years later. I want to know about those people. Are they dead? Are they alive? Are they in the are they in the cryogenic sleep? What about the girl? I want to fucking hit her. Those are the moments that makes you like, I want to do some fucking shit to her. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, now, aside from that, leave it to his assistant. That blonde hair Karen. She's a very energetic girl. See, giving him props, and helping her out pick all these other girls. Like, oh, look at this girl. She's a G cup. Oh, look at this girl. She's very energetic. She's half Japanese, all that stuff. Hey, how about this girl? She's blonde. She helping her out pick out the best candidates ever. But the biggest thing that in his life was the teacher. And then, after waking up 5 years and you find out your MILF sensei is alive, you got to smash her. She even told Sota to meet him at his own place. And then just like that, they had him in sex. It's like 5 years and you bang your teacher. He did it. It's part of that fantasy in the world. It's part of that fantasy where it's like, who doesn't want to bang their teacher? Hello? Sota did it. And then the next day, he's making friends. He made friends with an idol person. He made friends with, he's getting along right now. The way I see this, his school life is getting along really, really, really well. He already made friends with someone who's into idols. I have friends who's into Bang Dream, D4DJ, and Love Live. So when anything or Zombieland Saga, anything with idols related, AKB48, duh. Anything with idols related, there's friends around there that talks about it, and I see where he does it. So like that. And you got this, and like when it comes to harem, they point out the pouty girl face. You know how when one girl, how in harem animes, when one girl talks to the guy, the other girl have that pouty, they have that pouty face, and that blonde hair next time he just have that poutiness. Sorry, she has that poutiness. I'm like, oh my god. Now, again, his school life is doing good. And in fact, not only he banged the teacher twice, we found out that she was a virgin as well. So they both lost their virginity at a good age, and he only banged once. So that's it. Speaking of bang, I like how Kyrie at the end said, bang, bang, at those two. But now here's the thing. We have 3 people waking up from their cryogenic sleep. You got the first one who's happy that, he could bang any woman he want, even though he banged 100 and got 28 women pregnant. You got one guy who is serious as he can be. The MC himself is trying to find a cure for the MK virus and save the world. Not even want to lose his virginity to not even want to have sex with any other woman, but the woman he loves. That's passion. And then you got this guy whose life has been fucked up because he's been bullied, and he gets a second chance in life. Now, This is where now. This is where I gotta say the blonde, that chick at the one of the bullies. That blonde hair bitch, she gotta die. I don't care if she's alive because of the MK virus. She's one of those characters where you like. I think Sota needs to do is beat the shit out of her or get revenge on her, kind of like a redo of Healer vibe. Pulling off this, it's kind of like a Rising of the Shield hero or redo of Healer vibe. I mean, like, she comes back. I know she's gonna be alive, but come on, you gotta kill this woman or do something. Do something that Kiryu or Nafumi would do. Not wouldn't do, but would do against her. So if he sees her, I'm pretty sure he's gonna do something very, very dangerous. And I hope we see that. I really do. But like I said, this episode was really good. It was a really good episode. It wasn't about the fan service. It was more about Sota's like getting bullied and disowned by his friends, and now that he gets a second chance in life, he's finally, getting redeemed. I mean, the best redeemed part about it in this episode was that he not only his school life is now like slowly pacing it, but also the fact that he banged his teacher twice. So I give him that. I give him that credit with credit. At least his process, at least he's developing in a steady pace. That's all I'm trying to say. Okay, so, and by the way, you know what's funny about this show? Is just that we're talking about harem ecchi animes. Well, or hentai if you prefer. Because if we look at this timeline, we had 2020 was Interspecies Reviewers, one of the best controversial animes. Then 2021, redo of Healer. Now 2022, the return of World Ends Harem. What's next for 2023? We don't know. But if it's something like that, you see how the timeline is going? It's going like that. So we'll see how the direction of it goes. But like I said, this episode is really good, and I'm proud of Shouta for having a second chance in life. People like Shouta needs a second chance in life. So I appreciate Sota's hard work in the future, later on, when he wakes, having banged his teacher, but there's more to come. So I look forward for next week's episode, The World's End Harem, episode 4, and I'm sure you will.